This next piece was to be an alchemy necklace. So I did a little research and found there were a lot of symbols that I could replicate and put into a necklace. One of the symbols, as an example, that triangle means fire. So I liked doing that and combining the different shapes. When I started, I needed to make this triangle, so I used a mushroom. If you want a little more information about how to sand and cut a mushroom, you can look at the Botanical Arts lecture, and it gives a little more detail. But here it is. I took the pattern I wanted, and I printed it out on a piece of paper, and I put it on the mushroom, and I sawed with a jeweler's saw so that I'd get this particular shape that I wanted. For the circle that went around the triangle, I used Midolino sticks and I soaked them in water. And conveniently, they were the same size as a quarter, so I just taped a quarter down and put them around and glued them so that they would dry in that particular shape. And then I put a little epoxy on them so that they would stay in that shape and not reform into a different shape. The little squiggly that I put on the top, I drew it out with some on the computer, and I knew the size I wanted to go right on top of the triangle. And I used raffia that I twisted with some glue and made it into the shape that I wanted. You can see there I put it right on top of that actually to dry, and it's shaped in the right way. The clasp at the back of the necklace, I used twisted raffia and little tiny links. I didn't make them all the same. I thought it was kind of interesting to have a different shape, each one. Then I used the cupped eucalyptus that would then glue into the necklace base that I'm going to make. You can take a look at that next. There's a tree called the Norfolk Island pine, and it is fun to work with. You can go gather these, I guess they're needles, these pieces, and they come in two different colors. You can get them brown or green depending on when they fell off the tree. They fall, you can find them at the bottom of the tree. And I collect them and I keep them in a bin with some silica gel just to keep the moisture down. And then you can soak them in warm water and create whatever shape you want. Here I was making a necklace, and you can use styrofoam and toothpicks, and you shape it in whatever way you want, and it just will dry that way. It's wonderful. Now, they don't come this long. They come in a particular length, and they actually have a tapered down look, so you have to kind of match them up and glue them together. You want a longer piece. When I went to go spray paint the triangle, it was flying all over the place, as do a lot of these little pieces. So what I've learned to do is take double stick tape and tape it down, and then put the triangle right on top of it when I spray paint it. And that way it won't fly. If it's in a little box, I put it in a box so the spray paint doesn't go all over the place. And of course I do spray paint outside. So when it's all together, the whole thing was going to be gold, this part of it. I took it outside and hung it with a piece of wire in a tree branch, and then I'm able to spray paint the whole thing at the same time. Very light coats, and then I would bring it inside and let it dry hanging. When I glued the backing, this is what it looked like. The little cupped eucalyptus, you can see fit right into the Norfolk pine. So in closing, the Norfolk Island pine was the round choker part. The rattan was the circle. Eucalyptus I used in the back. The bracket fungus is what the triangle was. And then the raffia was used for all of the links. And here it is at the end.